Hey, I'm Joshua Hamlin. Today I want to show you how to make a basket quiver. This quiver right here. So follow me. What I did is I went down to the pond, got a bunch of willows, and this is what I'm going to make the quiver out of. But first I got to strip these willows and get them cleaned up. And then I'll sort them by size. So to strip them I just grab them like so and just pull the leaves off. I'll do that to this whole pile and we'll come back and show you how to do this. Okay, so I've stripped these of the leaves and I separated the thickest, longest ones. I only need 5 of them, so I'm going to get rid of that one. Now what I'm going to do is just like in the spoke basket video where I made a cross, and I'm going to do the same thing here, except I'm going to flip these over thick end to thin end to thick end, like so, and then I'm going to do the same with this. I'm going to make a cross here. Now I need to find the very thinnest ones to start my weave. So this one looks pretty thin. So I'm going to come in and pinch it right here. Then I'm going to come up and over while I'm holding that piece around, still holding it like so. What I'm trying to basically do is make a big cross. One thing that's important to note here is that I have an even number of spokes, and you cannot have an even number of spokes or you'll be going over and under the same spoke every time you go around. So what I got to do is get rid of one of these spokes. And what I'm going to do is get rid of this thin one right here. Grab my knife and just cut it out. That puts me at 9 spokes. Now I have 9 spokes here. I'm going to come on this side here and I'm just going to wrap around one spoke like so, and then come over and under like this on the opposite side that I did last time, just to stabilize it. And once I get it around a few times, then I'll start my over-under weave. And to do that, I just stretch the spoke out, stick this under. You want your weaver to bend and not your spokes. Pull it in tight like that. Alright, we've come to the end of one of our weavers here. What I'm going to do is just tuck it in to the weave that's already here, just to get it out of the way so that I can start another one. I'll just bend it down if I have to. Apparently I do have to. Okay, now I got it up out of the way. Looks like crap right now, but it's going to look better. So now we grab another one. I'll try and get a thin one. Work my way up. And where that one ended was coming in front of this one. So I'm just going to jam this in somewhere and then come in front of this one. Got to get it tight over this one. The start is the hardest part. Once you get it started, it stops being difficult. And I keep spreading these as I go. Alright, it's getting to the stage where it's less difficult now. The reason I used Willow for this instead of other basket vines is because you can do a sharp bend on Willow and you can't do a sharp bend on a lot of vines or they just snap. I'm at the end again. I'm just going to tuck it in, pull it tight, and grab another one. Start in the same spot. Okay, we're nearing the end of our base, and that's when we're going to have to bend these up. And this is why I chose willows. When I get done with this weaver, that's when we'll bend them up. That one's getting kind of thick, so I'm going to cut it off. And tuck it in. Alright, now what we got to do is bend all these spokes. And this is tricky. It's not tricky bending them, it's tricky getting weavers around them when they're bent. So we ended right there. I'm going to start right where we left off. And I'm just going to do the same thing, except this time I'm going to hold them in the bend as I do it. And once you get it to shape, after it's started bending properly, you don't have to be so careful. But at first I'm going to have to hold it. You can do a lot of the holding with your body. It's important that your weaver bends and not your spokes as you're going in and out of these. Especially when you start getting towards the thick ends. Alright, we're working our way up. It's starting to hold itself into shape. I just need to keep adding to it. That's too thick. the thinner one. That needs to be cut. Okay, there we go. Just keep working over and under. You don't want to let them bend in. You just want them to go straight up if possible. Once I get around once with the new weaver, I won't have to hold that so tightly. There we go. Now I can start moving quicker. And straighten them as I go. Starting to get too thick right there, so I'm going to cut that off. Tuck it down in. And once you got an inch or two up the sides, you want to go through and just squeeze it all down so it's really close knit, like so. And I'll just keep adding in. And we'll do this all the way up to the top. Okay, so I've gone up pretty far. What I wanted to show you is that some of these are starting to get thin. Some of my spokes are, like right there from the bottom ends. So what I'm going to do now is just fortify them. And how I'm going to do that is I'm just going to take a thicker stick and just shove it down in there beside it. And that is considered one spoke, not two. And I'm going to do that to all the thin ones here. So I just wanted to come back and show you that before I go much further. Okay, so I've come up a long ways. Notice that I'm fatter here on the bottom than on the top. That's so that if you've got stone arrowheads or something, they'll fit in there easier. What I got to do now is finish off this top, and the way that I do that is by folding one of these over and then shoving it down into not the next one but the one after it behind it. So I fold it over, shove it down in there. It takes some muscle. sometimes some prying. Alright, then I come to the next one. Well, we got two in this next one, so first off, I'm going to get rid of one of them. I'm going to cut it below eye level. And then I'm going to fold this one around the outside of the one next to it. And that's way too long. Cut it into a little point and shove it down in here. Just follow along beside that spoke. And then the next one, I have two. I only need one of them. I'll cut that out later though. I'm going to fold this and shove it down in there. So let me cut this shorter. And this holds the whole thing together and it looks nice. Do the same thing here and all the way around. And I'll come back when I get all the way around and I'll show you. Okay, so what I've done is I've pushed these tops down as I was showing you. Then I made a cordage from dog bane to make a little carrying strap. And there you have it. A basket maker quiver. Thanks for watching.